So I don't feel like doing this right now, but I thought, well, let's try it anyway, because I'm just as eager as you are. I got this, well, this is so light, it has a tendency to want to dance around on the table, so I stuck it to my cheese board with some Yoo-hoo glue, just so that it wouldn't dance around. I just used some general purpose Yoo-hoo just to stick the legs down, because I don't want it moving around, because it affects the gap between the coil and the thingamajig. So that I've glued that down temporarily, and I've stuck that coil down with some blue tack. And I thought, let's run a little test, just to see what goes on. Now, as I explained in the previous video, this is simply a test. It's an experiment. It's got nothing to do with making energy as such. I mean, usable energy. I mean, it's to test some ideas about drag, to see how much of a drag this configuration has against the coil, because of the static magnets. Obviously one magnet being one pole. As you can see, it deflects my gauge on that one, and on this side it attracts. It attracts, you can see, because it's holding it in place there. Obviously it won't hold it on that side because it's pushing, it'll fly away. So the magnets are stationary. I've got the magnet in the center, which is deflecting that field this way, so we have a bigger field on this side and a bigger field on this side. And the three balls that are eccentric, I adjusted them and balanced them as best I can. As you can see, this thing runs really easily. So this is probably going to be a long video, and I really don't want a long video, but I mean, when I say that, I mean it's going to take forever for this frigging thing to stop. And the only problem was I didn't have enough drive shaft coming all the way through here to put a pulley on. If you look underneath, there's no drive shaft sticking out the bottom. So so I thought, well, there's other ways of spinning this, and oops, the other way is to use my electric drill with a rubber wheel on it, which is what we're going to do. My wires are hooked up somewhere. So when I put this thing on voltage, now my battery's a bit low on my meter, but it should be alright for this test. Now, one thing, as I explained previously, I don't expect to get usable voltage out of this, and I don't expect to get any really usable current, but it's still a test worth doing. We barely even get half a volt, actually. Let me just spin this up and show you. Now, the way to do this test is to get a timer, a stopwatch, and as soon as I take, you can do this yourself. You can get a stopwatch on your phone or something, or a spare phone you might have lying around. So what we're going to do is, because I have got a practical way of setting up an RPM meter on this, and it's probably not justified anyway. What we're going to have to do is, as soon as I take the wheel off this, is start your stopwatch. See how long it takes for this wheel to come to a stop. Now, because of the way it comes to a stop, it'll bounce around. So we classify a stop as the point when it starts to reverse. At that point is the stop point. So as soon as it comes to a stop, say like that, at that point there, so that is basically a stop point. So what we're going to do is time how long it takes to stop on voltage and how long it takes to stop on current. Now I'm going to put this rubber wheel right on this inside rim, so that I get a constant maximum speed. I've got to be careful because if I touch the inside part, the rubber wheel just blacks everything up. So I'm going to keep it on there, and as soon as I take that off like that, you start your stopwatch, right? I'll let you do it because my hands are full. I'm holding a phone, I'm holding a drill, so you can do the stopwatch, and I can do it later. I can record it and then play it back. So I'm going to get this up to speed so we get peak voltage. I'm going to move the camera around, but I'll keep the camera on here when I take it off. So here we go. Alright, oops, let's see what I mean. I've got black already. Oops, just a minute, not ready yet. Now, and that's the voltage. We'll see how long that takes to stop. It's moving around a bit. It's a bit off balance, but I'm not worried about that. It's an experiment. Yeah, it's only about 0.1 of a volt, which is ridiculous. But I'll show you, you'll be more interested in the current actually. So I assume you're timing this to see how long it takes to come to a stop. Voltage. As I say, it's a fraction out of balance, but I'm not worried about that because I'm doing the test with the same configuration on both the voltage and on current settings. So as soon as this thing comes to a stop, because it's going to take forever, and if I don't get that rubber wheel directly on the thing, I end up with a black line, as you can see. Well, we've still got some small voltage coming out of it. It would probably be better if I stuck a capacitor across the coil actually. I should probably try that. It would probably increase the output voltage because these pulses. I haven't put the oscilloscope on this yet, so make sure your stopwatch is still going. So I need to put a capacitor across the coil because it should improve the AC, because I'm not sure what the waveform is. I need to put the oscilloscope on here as well. I'll do that probably later to see what pulses are like on the output from the coil. And you'd be interested to find out that it actually produces more current than voltage, which is very interesting. Quite a considerable amount of more current than actual voltage, which is very, very significant, because we do want more output current. But obviously if I put a different coil on there, we'll probably get usable voltage, because that coil is only 300, I think it's 300 turns of 30 SWG wire. So obviously if I use some wire with thinner wire, I can take my hand off it now actually, it's not going to vibrate now. So it's almost come to a stop. Now I'm going to tell you when to stop your stopwatch, which should be any second. There's very little cogging on this thing. Now, do it now, because yeah, might as well then, because it basically stopped. Anyway, so he stopped the stopwatch. Right, now we're going to switch over to current. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to go into 20 milliamp range. Right, on the 20 milliamp range. Let's do this whole thing again. So you have to write down your time. So, right, here we go. Let's get this exactly where I had it before. Now, look at the current. We peaked at 6 milliamps. Actually, 8 milliamps. Actually, we did peak at 8 milliamps on the, which is a fair amount. It's a lot more the voltage, which is important. So, as I say, I'll have to time this myself later because I'm holding everything. So we'll see how long it takes to come to a stop. You see, if the time is less, if the time is considerably less on the current measurement than it is on the voltage measurement, then clearly the experiment is demonstrating that this is not going to produce over unity, which is the whole point of the experiment. So it's just a theory. I wanted to test out Current output is still at 2 point. It's dropping obviously. Is it slowing down? I've got it clipped on with these big leads on here onto the coil. We're still going. It's still producing 1.7 milliamps. I don't know, I'm getting a lot of messages on my other phone. Oh, it's Twitter. I can ignore it. Oh, I know why. It'll be Mike Graham is about to go live at 10 o'clock AM. It is very early for me. I wanted to do this little test. Guess everybody else is interested in, well, wanting to see what happens. We're at 0.9 milliamps right now. Surprisingly, it's producing current, even though it's a small amount of current, it's actually producing current at such a small RPM. I mean, it must be about 78 RPM right now, and we're producing just over half a milliamp. It should stop any minute. Don't do it yet. Any second, I should say. Let's see. I'll tell you when. Now, right, okay, that was the test with current. Okay, so now I'll show you what happened. So we've done two tests, one with voltage, one with current, and this drill can only get up to a certain speed anyway. So I'll show you what the maximum current is when we've got this spinning up. I'm going to switch over. You don't have to time this one. This is just to show you what the maximum current is. Let's get this going again. Oops. That's 6.8 milliamps peak. Oops. Right. It's a bit out of balance. I need to tune it a bit with the adjustments. I'm not sure if the adjustments have moved themselves or with this. They might have done. But so yeah, and a little bit of fun. I was practicing with my daughter because it turns out my daughter is also a bit like me. She's got ESP, and this is a 5p coin. Heads is that side, tails is that side, and we're playing around. You know, remember the dice? I was playing with the dice. I thought, let's try something simpler. Anyway, I was doing this the other day. So I put the 5p coin in there. And we're doing the ESP, it's like a mind reader trick, but it's not a trick. So the way this works is you ask a question. When you keep flipping the coin inside the container. Right. And when it stops, I ask the question to myself or higher self, is it heads? And the answer came back no, which means that it's tails. Let's have a look. Didn't work, it's not my video, that's probably why. So let's try that again. I wasn't focusing properly because I was just demonstrating what we do. So, right, let's try this again. Right, let's try this again. It's kind of a bit of fun. Right, so take some deep breaths. Is it tails? And I got the answer, yes, it's tails. Right, so let's have a look. they're playing games with me. They're tricking me. They're actually inverting it. So this time it was heads. Yeah, they've caught on to my methodology. So the spirit world, I mean, they're telling me, they're giving me the reverse answer now. They're being very clever. All right. Right, okay. I'm getting this flipping Hawaii advertisements. I don't know why. Let's try this again. Alright, so I have to keep my head focused on this, otherwise it doesn't work. I just got the message it's tails this time, but I didn't even ask the question. Let's have a look. You buggers. They're playing games with me. They're telling me, what are the odds of getting it wrong every time? It's obviously inverted. I'm getting it wrong every time, which proves that they're actually playing games with me. They're switching they swap the tables on me. It was working yesterday when I was doing it every time. I got 3 out of 3 yesterday when I was doing it with my daughter. Now I'm getting 3 wrong out of 3. You know what I mean? So, yeah. It's still a bit of fun anyway, but... Yeah, oh look at that, see what I mean, my meter battery's flashing up, you know. Yeah, I need to get a new battery for my meter. So anyway, I thought you'd enjoy watching that little test. We can go back and I can repeat it probably later tonight, and I'll try different... I'm going to do this again. I'm not going to be beaten. We can probably try this with a different coil on there later on tonight. So right, let me just okay, let me try this one more time. Well, it's probably because I'm just waking up actually. My ESP is really bad when I've just woken up. It's usually better in the evenings actually for some reason. I don't know what it is. It's got something to do with the time of day, I don't know. So I'm going to ask a question, is it heads? The answer was no. So that means it must be tails. They've still got me. So look, what are the odds of getting it wrong every time? They've switched it on me, yeah? So they're telling me the wrong answer so that I deliberately get the wrong, yeah. There's no way that you would get it wrong every time. It goes against the physics of the percentages of odds, if you know what I mean. So everything's reversed. So I'll have to remember that. During the daytime when it's sun shining outside, my ESP does everything and backwards, it's all reversed. And during the evening it seems to work, and I don't know why. I really don't. I don't want to lose my 5p though, because money's a bit scarce right now. You gotta laugh. I wonder if this 5p is magnetic. Oh my god, it is. They don't even give you silver coins anymore. Look at that. It's friggin'... It's bloody magnetic money. Money didn't used to be magnetic. Proper money wasn't magnetic. It was usually... They used to call it silver. It's not silver anymore. So we found something out about money as well. Even though freaking money's magnetic. I suppose it's... They need it for the electronic machines or automatic, what do you call it, coin machines. They could just use a magnet and pull all the money out with the magnet. I don't know. Yeah, strange. Money didn't used to be magnetic. I remember 2p pieces. You couldn't pick them up with a magnet, but now you can. So even 2p pieces aren't copper anymore. We used to call it copper because it used to be copper, but it's not anymore. Right, so. At least this thing runs easy. I don't know if you want me to do this test again, but I'll do it later tonight probably. I'll have to go back and watch the video and time it this time. I'll have to watch it and time it myself because it's difficult to operate a stopwatch at the same time as holding a camera and holding a drill. It's a bit awkward, so I just thought I could just play it back, and provided YouTube's doesn't skip frames, it should be accurate. Anyway, that's it for now. Was there something else I was going to say? Oh yeah, I printed new legs. I actually got my measurements wrong on the original legs. They were a little bit too short. They're actually over there on the table. I'll use them for something else. The bearings work good, which is a good thing. They're very true, but I got a bit of wobble on here. I mean, the actual bearings have got slop in them. I don't know if you can see this, but there's actually slop in the bearing. They're not very good, look. You see that moves a bit side to side. It's that slop side to side wearing the bearings, which is causing the whole thing to basically run a bit wobbly. You know, when it's spinning, it tends to wobble a bit because the bearings are crap, but it does the job. It does the job. Okay, bye for now.